Greetings friends, it's an honor once again to welcome you back to Rick's Garage. Today in the shop I have a 2006 Toyota Corolla. It belongs to yet another one of my nieces. She had the car in here last week. She was complaining about a rough idle installing. It seemed to all the world to me like it was a dirty throttle body, but the throttle body looked new. She told me she had someone replace it a few weeks earlier, and it ran good for a while and then started acting up again. So that day last week I didn't have a lot of time to spend on her car, so I just removed the ductwork and cleaned the throttle body. I found that even though it was only a few weeks old, it was already contaminated with oil. There was dried oil caking up on the inside of the throttle body. So I sent her on her way. The car was running better, and I told her to bring it back this week when I had more time to spend on it. I believe the reason her old throttle body failed and the reason this one's already having trouble is due to oil contamination, and I think that's because it has a clogged PCV valve. That stands for positive crankcase ventilation. Pressure is building up in the crankcase and it's being forced out into the ductwork and thereby contaminating the throttle body. So what we're going to try to do today is we're going to completely remove all this ductwork, thoroughly clean it, thoroughly clean the throttle body once again, and then we're going to replace the clogged PCV valve. Now, as you've already noticed, the engine cover is off. It was missing to begin with, so if you have the engine cover in place, you're going to need to remove it before you perform this service. Alright folks, the first thing we're going to do here is loosen up the clamps on all this ductwork that we intend to clean. Then we're going to wiggle them and twist them a little bit and pull them off. This hose here you can twist around to make it easier to access the clamp. As you can see, there's already quite a bit of contamination since I cleaned this throttle body last week. Look at all that wet oil that's getting into the ductwork. There are two vacuum lines and a small wire harness I'm going to pull so I can completely remove this ductwork for a thorough cleaning. Just press this little tab and this plug should come right off. Then pull the harness away from that little retaining bracket and the ductwork is free. Now we're going to go ahead and replace the PCV valve. Remove this little clamp. You can do that with your fingers and the hose should come off quite easily. By the way, when you go to the parts store to purchase the PCV valve, bring the identification number of the vehicle with you so you make sure you get the correct one. On this model, you're going to need a 22mm socket to unscrew the PCV valve. With the PCV valve out, you can easily see it's all clogged up with sludge. Now you can go ahead and screw in the replacement PCV valve. Because it requires a 22mm socket, you're using a pretty good sized ratchet to tighten this. So be very careful not to over tighten it, as the cylinder head is made out of aluminum. Now you can go ahead and slip the hose and the clamp back into position. This part of the job is done. With the throttle body closed, I'm going to go ahead and clean it with a throttle body cleaner that you can pick up at any part store. I'm not going to be too awful fussy because I just cleaned it last week. I'm just going to get the little bit of debris that's accumulated over the past few days. Now I'm going to have someone help me open the throttle body so I can clean the inside. Do not push it open with a screwdriver or your fingers. You could damage it, or at the very least throw it out of calibration. Then you'd have to perform the relearn procedure. I'm not going to get into the relearn procedure because this is not about replacing the throttle body. It's about cleaning it. There are a lot of videos out there on how to replace the throttle body and perform the relearn procedure, so I refer you to one of those. To open the throttle body, have an assistant turn the key on and slowly step on the accelerator all the way to the floor, and the throttle body will open up as you see here. And then step on the gas all the way to the floor. Okay, that's opened. With the throttle body opened, you don't want to spray too much of that stuff. A little bit will do. Now keep in mind, because we're spraying all this stuff into the intake, the car's gonna not want to start right away, and when it does start, it's gonna run a little rough for about a minute or two. Okay, you can close that. Alright, looks like I got everything out of there. Okay friends, we're now on a bench I have outside the garage. I want to be in a well-ventilated area. I'm going to try to clean these hoses and ductwork. You can see all the nasties coming out of there as I spray in the cleaning solution. Off camera, I'm going to go ahead and repeat this procedure for the large piece of ductwork that connects the throttle body to the mass flow sensor and air box. With all the ductwork disconnected, it's going to be a lot easier to open this air box. So now would be the time to check your air filter and replace it if need be. Friends, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here. All that remains is to put everything back in reverse order. Should be very quick and easy. Now keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier in the video, the car's not going to want to start right away. It may take a couple, 3 tries. And when you do get it running, it's going to run really rough until we burn off all that cleaning fluid. So I want to thank you once again for watching Rick's Garage. Before I go, I will post 2 videos to your left, of which I hope you find of interest. And to your right, as always, will be a picture of my avatar in the form of my trusty German Shepherd. By all means, feel free to click on that if you wish to subscribe. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you all again very, very soon.